Anyway, we're going to hop on back in now. Yeah, we already went through the class specifics and left off with Web Spinner. Next up is Loetheb, so we're going to go to him. Yep. Alright. So, to start, Loetheb is a 5/5 legendary creature who costs 5 mana to play. His battle cry is enemy spells cost 5 more next turn. A lot of people have been crying that he's OP. I don't think so. I don't personally think he's OP. He's got the same stats as a Stranglethorn Tiger, and his battle cry basically means you can't answer him with spells, same as a Stranglethorn Tiger, which comes into play with stealth. His only real purpose seems to be countering Miracle Rogue, since he's played the same turn as the Gadget Zan Stealth combo usually is. So, you know, I like that. I think he's in a really good niche. So, yeah. I think Loetheb's good. I'm glad he's here. Next up, Mad Scientist. A 2-mana 2/2 with a Death Rattle to put a secret from your deck into the battlefield. Hello, Freeze Mage, you're coming back. Yay! Okay, that's it. 2-mana 2/2, probably gonna help Freeze Mages. That's about it. Next up, Stoneskin Gargoyle, a 3-mana 1/4. This guy seems like he'll be good in Priest decks because of his text. At the start of your turn, restore this minion to full health. This doesn't count as healing, technically speaking. So, Alkanai Soul Priest won't counter this. On top of that, in this new kind of meta, Priest decks that run Divine Spirit and Inner Fire are seeming a lot more powerful to me. Where, you know, you'll see cards like this that'll just get buffed up to like an 1/8 and then get turned into an 8/8. And a card that heals itself every turn that's an 8/8 up to full. It's basically a rag. I think this will be a good card to have in Priest decks. Otherwise, not that great because of the 1 attack stat. So I think this is a Priest-targeted card and I like it. Next up, Stalag. He's a 5-mana 7/4 legendary. His Death Rattle. If Fugan also died this game, summon Thaddeus. This needs some context, so we're going out of full screen. Yeah. He is a 7/4, so okay stats. He should be pretty easy to answer, though. Only 4 health and 7 attack, Shadow Word Death, or even Swipe. Excuse me. Fugan is a 5-mana 4/7. His stats are opposite those of Stalag, with the Death Rattle of his Stalag also died this game, summon Thaddeus. So, interesting. Let's go see who Thaddeus is. A 10-mana 11/11. These guys could be pretty crazy. There's a combo I've been thinking could happen, which would come on the rise with newer Warlock decks, perhaps, wherein Stalag and Thaddeus are comboed on turn 10 with a Summoning Portal that costs 4 mana. You can summon both Stalag and Thaddeus because they each cost 3 mana now. That's a total of 10. You do Coin and a Void Terror. Normally costs 3. It's a 3/3 Warlock Demon with a battle cry of destroy the minions adjacent to it on either side and gain their stats on top of its own. That would then only cost 11 mana because of the Summoning Portal, so with a coin that play is doable. This would create a 13/13 Void Terror, as well as killing off both Stalag and Thaddeus, Stalag and Fugan simultaneously, summoning 2 Thaddeus's. On turn 10, that would be a 13/13 and 2 11/11s. That's a crazy combo, right? I think Poison Seed's a good counter to that from Druids, but otherwise classes will have a really hard time dealing with that. It's an unlikely combo, so I don't think we're going to see it happen all that often, but the potential is there. Otherwise, Stalag and Fugan are only all that great if you run them together. Otherwise, you know, Fugan could be replaced by an injured Blade Master. Stalag is just too weak because of his health. You know, Holy Fire, Alkanai Circle, Swipe, Fireball, Frostbolt, and Ping. Too many answers to Stalag for him to be a viable 5-drop card. Just way too many answers. Even from Hunters, you have Kill Command. From Paladins, you have True Silver, I suppose, or, you know, a quality Consecrator or a quality Pyromancer, which, by the way, would be really good answers to that Warlock combo play. From every other class, there's just ways to deal with it. Eviscerate, Shadow Bolt, or Soulfire. You get the idea. So, yeah. Next up, Naxxramas. A 6-mana 2/8 beast. Basically an Emperor Cobra, because the text reads destroy any minion damaged by this minion. Some people have been saying they think Naxxramas is OP. I don't think so. I think the stats are actually kind of bad. I know the attack shouldn't matter, so you basically have a 99/8 minion, but hello, Shadow Word Pain, Silence. There's just too many ways to answer this guy. I don't think Naxxramas is any good. Yeah. That's Naxxramas. I don't like Naxxramas as a card. I don't think it's that great. I don't think it'll be played that often. I think it's also far too late in the game for that kind of tempo. So yeah. Next up, Zombie Chow. He's a 1-mana 2/3 with a death rattle of restore 5 health to the enemy hero. That could be pretty crazy, because the death rattle makes him really difficult to play well. That being said, combo him with an Alchemy and he's decent enough in a priest deck because it's a 1-mana 2/3 with a death rattle of Mind Blast that guy. I don't know if he'll be played that often, but I see this guy being okay in a priest deck with Alchemy. Otherwise, I don't see him being that viable because the death rattle just restores too much health. Next, Death Lord, a 3-mana 2/8 with Taunt. Good against aggro decks, obviously. The death rattle, your opponent puts a minion from their deck into the battlefield. This puts an interesting spin on this guy because it actually makes him very bad against control decks. Against an aggro deck, you know, your opponent's not likely to get a very good minion from that. But imagine against like a control priest like what I have right there. If I had Shadow Word Pain in there instead of, say, Silence, I kill this guy and boom, I get my rag to pop out. That is game breaking. So Deathlord's good against aggro. I think he will eat it against control though, so it'll be interesting to see how his mechanics play into this game. Echoing Ooze, 2-mana 1/2 with a battlecry of summon an exact copy of this minion at the end of the turn. Yes, that will mean any of the stat changes are going to stay, so enchantments will stay, all of that. Blizzard has, or Hearthstone has confirmed that. But that being said, that means this guy's a 2-drop who you can't play on turn 2 because you won't be able to combo him sufficiently. You gotta play him a lot later in the game, maybe in a paladin buff kind of deck. Actually, that'd be a really interesting... That would be a really interesting paladin combo, is if you could get this guy on turn 2, combined with a Noble well, here we go with lag again. Combined with a Noble Sacrifice, plenty of lag from my webcam. Seriously, what is with this? Internet, please. Okay. Anyway, regardless. Yeah, you could get this combined with Noble Sacrifice and Paladin's new secret that gives +3/+2 when a minion is slain on your side of the field. It only triggers when there's another minion to apply that to. So somebody attacks the ooze to kill it off, and Get Down comes up and gives this guy +3/+2. You would get 2 4/4s out of that. That would be pretty cool as a combo. But otherwise, I don't see him being that good. That's the only time I can even see him being viably played earlier in the game. So, yeah. I don't know why my webcam is lagging. Sorry, guys. There's Fugan. We've been over this. Spectral Knight. 5-mana 4/6, who can't be targeted by spells or hero powers. Seems like a Priest Wrecker, and against this deck, it would be. I think since Priest decks are gonna... Well, I think the Priest deck meta is gonna shift a bit more towards Amaz's new Priest deck called Reinvention, where you play a lot of minions that have high health and then give them Divine Spirit and Inner Fire to make them super powerful minions that are like 14/14s. Against those kind of decks, this guy is not going to be a priest wrecker, and I think that's where the meta is going to shift, so I don't know if this will actually wreck priests. It'll wreck this kind, but yeah, I don't see it wrecking other kinds of priests. It'll be interesting to see how the meta changes with this guy, if it even takes note of him. So, yeah. Next up, Haunted Creeper. Sucks. 2 mana 1/2 that presents no threat at all. A death rattle summon 2 1/1 Spectral Spiders. Perfect counter to this card is in this deck and is already played. Pyromancer Smite. Gone. Yeah, this guy's just not gonna work. Even then, the 2 1/1 Spectral Spiders are just too easy to deal with. And there's too many cards in the Naxxramas expansion that'll deal with this way too easily. So, yeah, I don't like this guy. I think he sucks. Kel'Thuzad. This is the only card I will name as undoubtedly OP in the Naxxramas expansion. Why? He's an 8 mana 6/8. That's OP! No, I'm just kidding. The stats don't make him OP. His text does. At the end of the turn, summon all friendly minions that died this turn. Holy cow! Aggro decks will love this guy. Control decks like druids that just ram a ton of large minions into your board and somehow get it wiped. You know, it's just crazy the amount of, like, power Kel'Thuzad has because he'll keep bringing your minions back. And that's not even a battle cry or a death rattle or anything. That is a persistent effect. This guy has to be killed, or you can't even answer anything else on your opponent's board. He's basically got Taunt on top of, you know, an effect that makes all spells instantly target him. Everything. He is priority number 1 out of every single card ever played in this game. Just OP. I think it was a bad move making this guy a card. I think this is stupid powerful. Yeah. Just too good. Moving on. Naxxramas Weblord, a 2 mana 1/4 that whose text reads minions with Battle Cry, costs 2 more. It'll be interesting to see if Miracle Rogue will actually survive, because this guy would be a reasonable counter to Loatheb, since his whole thing of making spells cost 2 more is a Battle Cry, in fact. That'd make Loatheb cost 7 mana to summon. This guy also could be good in Priest decks, because his stats suck for everything else, but, you know, get some Divine Spirit and Fire on that, and you got an 8/8, so it'll be interesting to see how Naxxramas Weblord kind of falls into this meta. Next, Unstable Ghoul, a 2 mana 1/3 with Taunt and a Death Rattle of deal 1 damage to all minions. Counter aggro decks. That's about it. I don't know what it is with Nax, but a lot of these minions have really bad stats. It's interesting. Almost everything released after the class-specific cards and that initial release, including the Nerubian Egg and Dancing Swords and all that. Most of these newer minions have terrible stats. Yeah. I don't even know if this guy's going to be played. He's just a mini abomination. I don't know how he'll work into the meta. Next up, Wailing Soul. A 4 mana 3/5 with a Battle Cry of Silence your other minions. It'll combo well with Dancing Swords. That's about it. I can't think of another reason why you'd want to silence your own minions. Like, what does that gain you? What kind of deck would that even be used in? And it's only your own minions, not your opponent's. I don't know. Yeah, it's Wailing Soul. And then there's Thaddeus. You know. We've already been over Thaddeus. So. Yeah. Those are the new cards. And that's my review. What do I think is going to happen with the meta? My webcam's frozen again. Oh well. I guess it happens. I think in this new meta that we're going to see more of the reinvention style priest deck that Amaz has, where Divine Spirit and Inner Fire is going to be ran, along with plenty of minions who can combo with it. So we're going to have some large minions like that. I think Freeze Mage is going to be on the rise because of Mad Scientist. I think Token Druid's going to rise because of Poison Seeds. I think Shamans are going to stay relatively stable because of their inherent stability as a class. Most of these cards don't affect them anyway, and Reincarnate just kind of makes their Leroy combo finisher a bit more powerful. I think Miracle Rogue might see a fall. I don't know what will replace it. Thank you, Loatheb. I think Warriors are going to tilt more towards weapon-based Warrior decks, maybe even see some Pirate decks come out for Warriors, since they're so weapon-based. That means we'll see a rise in Harrison Jones plays as well. But yeah. Paladins, I think, are going to stay pretty aggro. Avenge just makes them better at that, along with if you can combo that with Echoing Ooze. I think we're going to see Warlocks that run Death Rattle style decks with the combo I mentioned earlier, maybe some Nerubian Eggs that can be triggered by Hellfire, Baron Rivendare, maybe Undertaker in there somewhere. I don't know. I think that's what we'll see. Something kind of similar to Handlock, but with a bit more Death Rattle. And, yeah. Hunters, Flare. That's all I can really say about Hunters. I don't think Hunters are going to change that much. Web Spinner doesn't do much for you. And, the only other slight tribute to Hunters is one of the crappiest beasts I've ever seen. And my Ixna, but again, not good. So, yeah. Yeah. Token Druid, Freeze Mage, Reinvention style Priest, Weapon Warriors. Warlocks are going to kind of stay more handlocky with a Death Rattle touch on them. And maybe that kind of combo that I mentioned, because I could see Warlocks doing well with that. Rogues, I have no clue what'll happen, but I don't think Miracle's staying. Yeah. That's about it. Will stay pretty similar too. But Shamans are powerful enough as is, so I wouldn't say Shamans are ever OP. I don't think they are. I just think they're really stable as a class. So I don't think this is going to do a ton to them. I don't know. Rise in Earth Shocks. Hide your Twilight Drakes. Yeah. Will Silence get more powerful? I don't know. I think Mass Dispel is going to see some play, though, for Priests. And I think Ironbeak Owl will see more play because it's such a good counter to Nerubian Egg. And if that's not countered, it will be ridiculous, so. Yeah. That's about it. Yeah, thank you guys for watching. That's the Naxx card review. I hope you guys enjoyed. I managed to shave 10 minutes off of this from the last time I did this with my mic muted. Not sure how I managed that. Did I skip the Sludge Belcher? I feel like I did. I'm gonna go over them anyway. 5 mana, 3/5 with Taunt, and a Death Rattle of summon a 1/2 slime with Taunt. Basically a Tazdingo that costs 1 mana more, and has a Death Rattle of summon a Goldshire Footman. Disgusting. I just play Tazdingo instead. Yeah. Some people think Tazdingo is gonna be destroyed by this guy. No. No. This card's not actually that good. Yeah. And what else? Yeah. Always watch out for Kel'Thuzad, because it doesn't matter what deck you play. Kel'Thuzad is crazy OP. That's my opinion. And that's the Naxxramas card review. Thank you guys for watching.